Hello my pre-calculus student. In this video we are going to learn how to use trigonometric identity to simplify trigonometric expression. So let's introduce the first basic identity would be the reciprocal identity. We know that sine of the angle theta is the reciprocal of cosecant. So vice versa, cosecant of the angle theta is the reciprocal of sine. Cosine of the angle theta is the reciprocal of secant of angle theta. Secant of angle theta is the reciprocal of cosine of the angle theta. Tangent of angle theta is the reciprocal of cotangent of angle theta, and the last one will be cotangent of angle theta is the reciprocal of tangent of angle theta. We call these 6 equations. They are reciprocal identities because the left side equal to the right side. So in your calculator, you don't have the key for cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So to input cosecant in your calculator, you can use the reciprocal identity. You can put that 1 divided by sine of the angle theta. The next identity we want to introduce will be the cosine identity. So there are 2 identities. In this case, we have tangent of the angle theta is sine of the angle theta divided by cosine of the angle theta. And the second identity is cotangent of the angle theta is cosine of the angle theta divided by sine of the angle theta. The next identity that we want to introduce to you will be the Pythagorean. Identity. So this identity, there are 3 identities or 3 equations: sine square of the angle theta plus cosine square of the angle theta equal 1, or tangent square of the angle theta plus 1 equals secant square of the angle theta. And the last one will be cotangent square of the angle theta plus 1 equal cosecant square of the angle theta. The next identity that we are going to introduce to you will be the cofunction identity. So co, it means there. So let's look at this 6 identity. So let's look at the first identity, or the first equation. We have sine of the angle theta is equal to cosine of pi over 2 or 90 degrees minus the angle theta. So what it says that if the angle theta is an acute angle, then sine of the angle theta will be equivalent with the cosine of 90 degree minus that angle theta, or pi over 2 radian minus the angle theta. So the next one will be cosine of the angle theta equals sine of pi over 2 radian minus theta. Tangent of the angle theta equal cotangent of pi over 2 minus the angle theta. Cotangent of the angle theta equal tangent of pi over 2 radian minus the angle theta. Secant of the angle theta we equal cosecant of pi over 2 minus angle theta. And lastly will be cosecant of the angle theta equals secant of pi over 2 radian minus the angle theta. The next identity will be the even identity. So if you remember, we talk about even odd function here. So cosine is the even function. So there are two of the there are two equations, or there are two identity. Cosine of negative angle theta equal cosine of angle theta, and secant of negative of angle theta equals secant of theta. And the last one we are going to introduce here with the odd identity. So we have sine of negative theta equal negative sine of angle theta, cosecant of negative theta equal negative cosecant of theta, tangent of negative theta equal negative tangent of the angle theta. And lastly will be cotangent of negative angle theta equal negative cotangent of theta. So now we are going to use this identity to simplify the following expression. So this, we call this will be example. So in this example, we are asked to simplify trigonometric expression. So the given expression be cosecant of theta times secant of theta equal cotangent of theta. So the first thing we are going to use that we are going to use the quotient identity. So we make a note right here, use quotient identities. Then cosecant, now we can substitute for 1 over sine of the angle theta. Secant, we can substitute for 1 over cosine of the angle theta. And cotangent, we can substitute for cosine theta divided by sine of theta. Next, we are going to multiply first using the order of operation. So when you multiply these two fractions, 1 times 1 give me 1. The denominator will be sine theta times cosine theta. And copy the second fraction, cosine divided by sine. Next, now we need to use the common denominator to rewrite the fraction. So our common denominator will be sine times cosine. So the first fraction, it does have the common denominator, so we just go ahead and write it down. So sine times cosine. The second fraction, it doesn't have cosine, so therefore we have to multiply cosine to the second denominator. So on the numerator, cosine times cosine, we can write cosine square or cosine to the power 2. Next, so now these two fractions have common denominator. You are welcome to go ahead and subtract the numerator. So we do not subtract the denominator, so we copy this the same. So the numerator will be 1 minus cosine square theta. Next, 1 minus cosine square. So when we see the square, we can go ahead and use Pythagorean identity. So we substitute 1 minus cosine square for sine square of theta and copy down the denominator, which is sine theta times cosine theta. Now we can divide the numerator and the denominator. Divide by sine theta. So on the numerator we end up with sine theta, no more sine square, and the denominator we end up with cosine theta. And lastly, we are going to use the quotient identity. To replace sine divided by cosine for just tangent of theta. So our conclusion that cosecant theta times secant theta minus cotangent theta After we simplify, that is just equal to tangent of theta. So let's write out this summary. In this video, we learned this. How to use trigonometric identity to simplify trigonometric expression. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.